Okay, here's question number 26 on the Foundation Calculator paper. Let's just read the question carefully. Here is a four-sided spinner. The spinner is biased. That means it's unfair. There's not an equal chance of the numbers coming up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's not an equal chance of all of them coming up. The table shows the probabilities that the spinner will land on 1 or 3. Okay, so he's given the probability for 1 and the probability for 3. The probability that the spinner will land on 2 is the same as the probability that the spinner will land on 4. So those, whatever numbers are in these two spaces, they are equal, they are the same. Work out the probability that the spinner would land on 4. Okay, one thing that we do know is that the sum of all the probabilities, so the numbers in all 4 of these cells, should add up to 1. So that means that probabilities in these two cells, the two blanks, is going to be 1 take away 0.2 take away 0.1. In other words, 1 take away 0.3, and that's going to be 0.7. You can use a calculator to check that if you wish. Right? So that means that the numbers in these two cells, the probability of getting a 2 and the probability of getting a 4, they will add up to 0.7. However, they've said to us that the probability that the spinner would land on 2 is the same as the probability that the spinner would land on 4. So those two are exactly the same. I know they're exactly the same and they add up to 0.7. So what I need to do is to share 0.7 into 2 equal bits. And let's clear that from the previous section. 0.7 divided by 2, that's going to give me 0.35. It's going to be 0.35. That's 0.35. And I've written that in the answer space there. Okay, so this is a popular type question. This type of question has come up several times in the last 2 years, in the last 3 exams. Right? Very, very similar to this type of question. The question says, work out the probability that it will land on a 4. That's actually going to be the same as the probability it lands on a 2. Make sure you could do it. Make sure you understand it. And going on to part B. Okay, part B. It says this person is going to spin the spinner 200 times. Work out an estimate of the number of times the spinner would land on a 3. So again, they've told you it's going to be spun 200 times, loads of times, and they want you to work out, estimate the number of times the spinner would land on a 3. Now, from the table, we were told that the probability of it landing on a 3 is 0.1. And if you spin it 200 times, that's going to be 0.1 times 200. That will give you an estimate of the number of times you should get a 3. So 0.1 times the number of times we spun it, and that's going to be 20. So that's 2 marks pretty easily there. Right, and this is again a standard type question. This type of question comes up often. It's the number of times you carry out the trial, or you spin it, or you throw the dice, or whatever it is. You multiply that by the probability of getting the thing that you want. In this case, the probability of getting a 3 is 0.1, and we're going to times that by 200. As I said, this is a popular type question, both A and B. Go through it a couple of times and make sure you could do it and get full marks in it.